in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 notice of which was sent to the record in the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Here.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we move on, I would like to take a moment of silence. Mr. Robert Hackensack, who is a businessman from Hackensack, didn't live in Hackensack, but he was a businessman from Hackensack for decades and decades. Very successful man, very large, very big philanthropist. Sat on multiple boards on hospitals and real estate firms and all different types of associations. So if we could have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Okay, with that, I need a motion for the approval of the minutes for the cow and the regular minutes of November 12th, 2019. Was everybody present, Madam Clerk?
Deputy Mayor Canestrino and Councilwoman Von Rudenberg were absent for that.
Okay, so for the 12th of 2019, November, need a motion?
Offer. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have two abstentions. Nobody opposed. Now I need a motion for the cow and the regular minutes, December 3rd, 2019.
Everybody was present for that.
Everybody was present. Need a motion.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. City Manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, and invited guests. This is the City Manager's report for December 17, 2019. Mayor and Council is offering free metered parking on Main Street and Anderson Street now through December 25th. Please support our small businesses and enjoy the holiday season. The Christmas week and New Year's week sanitation pickup schedule has some changes. Please refer to the hackensack.org under notices for updates. Please note that all starting January 6th, all recycling, meaning bottles, cans, and paper, will be collected on your designated recycling day. One day for all. Last call to support food drive for Fairleigh Dickinson University. Friday is the last day to bring in non-perishable items to City Hall lobby and make a donation online. Flyers are available at hackensack.org for more details. Be sure to check the newsletter that was recently mailed to your home. Details about our new 2020 digital calendar and your sanitation recycling pickup schedules are included. Building Department updates, 35 notices written, 125 inspections made, 4 summonses issued, 16 CCOs done, 14 Oprah requests. Wishing you, your families, happy holiday and a happy new year. Please be safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to new business. Resolution 539-19.
This is a reintroduction of ordinance number 42-2019, an ordinance amending Chapter 90 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Food and Drink to establish a new article governing mobile food vendors and set forth certain provisions for licensing and regulating same.
Okay, need a motion, please?
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance, being ordinance 57-2019, is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on January 14th, 2020, at 8:00 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law, with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 540-19.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 57-2019, an ordinance to amend Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Vehicles and Traffic to remove a previously approved handicap parking space in Section 49.2, parking for the handicap.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 57-2019 is introduced, does now pass on first reading, and the said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on January 14th, 2020 at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 541-19.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 58-2019, an ordinance to amend Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Parking to update pricing for the use of certain on-street parking meters in off-street municipal parking lots.
Need a motion, please.
Offer. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 58-2019 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on January 14th, 2020, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 542-19.
This is a resolution authorizing tax appeal attorney to settle the cases dated December 4th, 2019, that were scheduled for trial or settlement.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 543-19.
This is a resolution authorizing tax refunds for duplicate payments, county and state board judgments.
Need a motion, please?
Offer. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 544-19.
This is a resolution authorizing the cancellation of improvement authorization balances in the general capital fund.
Need a motion?
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. 545-19.
This is a resolution authorizing transfer of the 2019 budget appropriations.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 546-19.
A resolution authorizing change order number 5 to New Prince Concrete for 2019 road resurfacing project in the amount of $113,317.18.
Need a motion, please?
Offer. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 547-19.
A resolution authorizing change order number 1 to Darmafalski Engineering Associates for the Johnson Park Soil Remediation Construction Oversight Project in the amount of $32,450.
Thank you. Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 548-19.
A resolution awarding contract for engineering services to Darmafalski Engineering Associates for the Columbus Park Basketball Court Improvement Project in the amount of $60,000.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 549-19.
A resolution awarding contract for engineering services to Neglia Engineering for the 2019-2020 CDBG Road Resurfacing Project in the amount of $60,300.
Okay. Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 550-19.
A resolution awarding contract for engineering services to Neglia Engineering for the 2020 Road Resurfacing Project in the amount of $146,240.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. 551-19.
A resolution awarding contract for engineering services to Suburban Consulting Engineers for the Main Street Combined Sewer Overflow Separation Project in the amount of $246,000.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 552-19.
Resolution awarding contract for engineering services to Suburban Consulting Engineers for the Stormwater Infrastructure Project financing and planning documentation in the amount of $13,250.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Resolution 553-19.
This is a resolution authorizing the payment of bills.
Need a motion to pay the bills?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, before we get to the consent agenda, does anybody have any conflicts in the consent agenda? I have none. Okay,
Everybody's okay?
yep.
Following items are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda, and consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes, including any exceptions and/or additions. The consent agenda consists of Resolution 554-19 through 564-19. 554-19 is a resolution authorizing endorsement of proposed Bergen County Community Development Grants for 2020. Resolution 555-19 is a resolution authorizing a raffle license for HSA St. Elizabeth Interparochial School. Resolution 556-19 is a resolution in support of Senate Bill S. 3846 and Assembly Bill A. 5716.
Can we stop right there 1 second? I need to talk to council to see, my wife's a teacher in a public school, is that an issue for me? And Dave?
That would require public schools to be closed on the days. Well, it's,
It had nothing to do
you know,
with
it's a recommendation in support of litigation, I mean, in support of legislation. You know, it's not actually taking any formal action. So, you know, it would seem to me unlikely that that would represent a conflict. But again, if you wish to be cautious,
Yeah, place
you
it.
know, perhaps you can abstain. I mean, certainly there's votes available.
So let's,
Want me
yeah,
to just pull it
please
out,
say-
so we
pull
vote
that
on
one
it
out.
separate?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
that would be the case. But again, I honestly don't believe, you know, it represents, you know, a conflict. But again, you know, if you want to be cautious, certainly that's fair enough.
I'm in the public schools too, but I have,
Pardon?
I work for public schools,
but not in Hackensack Public School.
but this is.
This only affects
This is only.
Hackensack, really.
Well, no, I mean, this is asking for legislation to go statewide. I mean, look, if everybody's got issues with it, again, I don't think that.
Necessity then.
You could either, we could declare necessity, or perhaps, I don't see any giant urgency with this. I mean, perhaps it's one that's best be pulled. Again, it's not meant, you know, for the doctrine of necessity to apply, it needs to be on a matter of particular urgency. So like
That
when
it
we were,
affects us.
you know, when we were dealing with the type 3, you know, the school security, you know, that reaches the level, in my view, where necessity might be
Why don't we just pull
appropriate.
this out of
So
the consent
I think it's probably best
Do
to
you want to pull
pull.
it from the consent or just pull it totally?
No, put it on percent.
I mean, if everybody's got an issue,
Because
concern at the
you've got
moment,
3 now, so which leaves,
you know,
You gotta pull it totally.
yeah.
I would recommend, if people have concerns about it, pull it totally. Let's see where it stands at the end of the year, and then we can readdress it in January, and I can look at it more carefully. I think, you know, again, there's no, as I can see, any giant urgency to address this at this particular moment in time.
All right, so the consent agenda now consists of Resolution 554-19, 555-19, and then 557-19 through 564-19.
Okay.
So
you
we're
have
up to 557-19, which is a
Right.
resolution in support of Assembly Bill A 5726 to increase the wages of poll workers to be paid by the state of New Jersey and by the county in which the election is being held. Resolution 558-19 is a resolution authorizing reappointments and new appointments to various boards and commissions. Resolution 559-19 is a resolution authorizing appointments of Class 2 special law enforcement officers. Resolution 560-19 is a resolution authorizing release of escrow for 500 South River Street. Resolution 561-19 is a resolution calling for a study commission to review open public records. Resolution 562-19 is a resolution establishing goals for contracting with veteran-owned business enterprises, hiring veterans in the municipal workforce, and recognizing the military service of residents in the civic affairs of the city of Hackensack. Resolution 563-19 is a resolution authorizing an application to the Sustainable Jersey Complete Streets Technical Assistance Program. And Resolution 564-19 is a resolution authorizing an amendment to shared service agreement between the City of Hackensack and the County of Bergen to provide certain animal control services.
Okay, I need a motion to adopt the consent agenda as it was read.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. Okay. That was quick. And with that, let me ask first, though, I mean, I would like to support that bill, but we're going to need to get a final, Steve, get some kind of final answer from you on that. Somehow we could vote on it, because right now we can't vote on it.
Yes, I mean, as I said, right now, again, because this is only asking for legislation to be approved, I mean, it doesn't affect the city intimately to the level that I think the doctrine of necessity would be appropriate. So the question would be, is it a conflict for you to vote on this? Because if passed, it would affect the public schools. And again, off the top of my head, because, you're not actually taking any formal action, right? The city's not spending any money as a result of this. It's not entering into a contract as a result of this. It's more a statement of the council's beliefs. I would want to look at that. Certainly anybody who does not believe they're conflicted could certainly send a letter, as an individual council person, Kathy or Leo or whoever feels that they don't have an issue could certainly on their own, in their official capacity, send that if the council as a whole felt uncomfortable doing it. But again, I'm never comfortable giving an opinion on a complicated question, especially involving ethics, that, is kind of brought to me at this moment in time. I'd rather take the opportunity to look at it if the council wants me to do so.
Just let us know next time. Motion open to the public, please.
Offer. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. Anybody from the public who would like to speak, please come forward. Give your name and address to the clerk, and you will have 3 minutes.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Reverend Carolyn Davis. First of all, I'd like to publicly thank Captain Bashilio. He's not here tonight, but police officers will, he's been very helpful, very compassionate in a situation that falls along the stigma-free. So I just want to publicly thank him and those officers who have been very patient and understanding. Second thing, I'm trying to do this all in 3 minutes. Partnering with developers. As an employee at Hackensack Medical Center for many years, one of my jobs was as a nurse, was working with big sales companies. I understand we cannot demand anything, it's illegal, but we can partner with them. And I think it's time to put aside any political differences because you have the power. You have the power as a city council to make negotiations with developers when they come in. We know we need development. Main Street does look great. But we don't want to have a great Main Street, and our public schools are suffering. We have great teachers, great students, and they need you to fight for them also. Developers are getting a lot when they come into our city, and I think there's ways we can partner with them so they can help our school system also. And it can be done legally, because it's been done in other towns. So I really am asking the city council to really look into that, because you have that responsibility also on the school board.
And you
School
be
board
more
can only,
specific what you're looking for?
the school board can only do but so much. But the city council can sit down with developers when they come in and negotiate with them. As you can negotiate prices with them. You can negotiate and you can say, we have a great school system. Can you help us at all? What can you do to help? That's not, you can do that. There's a way you can do that without it being illegal. It's been done in other communities. Secondly, my last thing is, I really feel that the city council, as the BOA has developed a very successful affirmative action diversity group comprised of teachers, community representations, faith representation, administrators, male and female teachers. It's very successful. And have a diversity committee and affirmative action to ensure that everybody gets a part in decisions and ensuring that the diversity represented in the school is heard and that plays a part in important decisions that will affect everyone. I believe the city council really needs to look into developing a community advocacy program so that groups in this city will all feel they have a part, will all feel they have a say in decisions for the community. The same thing as the Board of Ed has done. It's working very well. The people on it feel very affirmative, almost done.
Go ahead.
And I think we need the same thing for the city, so that everyone has a fair chance to apply for different board positions, so that our boards, our city complex represents the diversity in our communities, and right now it doesn't. I really think you need to look into that, having a city advocacy committee made of different people from the community, even faith representation, so they can play a part in the decisions. Thank you. And by the way, thank you for the business card. Happy holidays to everybody.
Go ahead. Thank you.
I'll talk about the schools, you can talk about the boards if you
Well,
like.
yeah, just the boards, we've gone out of our way. Anybody can be on one of our boards. It's people have to apply
open.
themselves and apply to be on the boards.
the
And that's a
website.
big problem. We do outreaches, we've gone to clergy, to church. I can't tell you how hard we've worked to keep diversity on some of our boards.
Well, I know you don't go back and forth. I'll just say this. After, I was going to bring it up at another time, but since you gave me that answer. On December 9th, Jeff Carter of the NAACP
Right?
had a meeting with some of you on the city council.
Yep,
You were very promising that you would look into that. You thought it was important.
right.
We know somebody who applied for the planning board and was denied that position.
Nobody come in front of us for the planning board, and
There
we're
was
involved with
one-
that.
One
No
person
spots
submitted
open.
and I interviewed them and one person for the
There
zoning
was
board.
one spot, and now there's
Only one
no
person
spots.
applied.
Well, one person did apply and they were denied, a person of
That's
color.
not true.
That's not true.
By
Because
the
there was
way,
one
because he got
application.
it.
There was
But-
one application for planning,
Ask-
one application for
ask
zoning.
Jeff
I
the
interviewed
name.
both of them and both of them were put on.
We'll
both
give it to
boards.
you afterwards.
All right,
I'll give you that
let me
name.
know. But Carolyn, I've talked to you about this many times before, as far as negotiating with developers from Board of Ed, and as far as making statements that other towns are doing this. What's happening in other towns is they are receiving large amounts of money in pilot money. So, for example, Jersey City, $139 million a year. Woodbridge, $45 million a year in revenue. And the city themselves are taking some of that pilot money and using it to support the school. The developer is not doing it directly. We have always said, when we begin to see a nice return from our developers, of course, we have monthly meetings, Stephanie and I, with the Board of Education, and we will certainly work and support joint projects.
I know the developers
with that
can't do
finance-
it. That's not what I meant. I know the developers cannot do it, but as the city council,
No.
you have the right to take some of those funds and use them for
That's
what you
different. That's
want.
exactly what I'm telling you, and that has always been our.
But we gotta get to the point where that money's coming in.
Right-
We
right
can't
now
give the
we're-
school the money until we get the money.
Right now, we're only receiving one pilot payment for $500,000 a year. That's it. So as we move forward and start to see the return on this money, absolutely, we will work together with the schools and fund
I
projects
hope
together.
so. I hope so.
That has always been our discussion. That has always been our
We just
platform.
negotiated where the city's gonna finance.
You know, we're talking
The-
about helping
Their
them
school.
with the school that they want to put in Jackson Avenue for the preschool. We're working together with them.
Okay.
That's a $50
Absolutely.
million project.
Absolutely.
Yes, well, I just want to make sure that our kids are not left behind in all
And
of
they
this.
would never be. That has never been our agenda, and we will continue to support and work with the schools.
And
That's a priority.
I just want to add, I have 3 children in the public schools, so obviously I do not want my children left behind. And I have to say that the new superintendent, I think he's doing a wonderful job. Our meetings are very productive. I mentioned to him, you can have an educational foundation. I mean, such a big school district like this, you could look for donations to school to support a different project and things like that. They could absolutely do things to support different initiatives in the school. So I think things are going great with our meetings, and the superintendent seems to really be doing a lot in the short amount of time
Yeah,
that
I
he's
met
been
with
here.
him also. He is very good.
He is
So
very
I'm glad
good.
to hear that. I'm
Yeah.
glad to see that that's going to happen. I don't have any children in the school system.
Yeah.
My kids are 47 and 41. but
My
I'm-
granddaughter's in
I'm-
high school, so
Yeah.
I'm happy.
No, we want we really do want the best for the school system, I
But
believe.
That's why we're
That
here.
was always our plan, that as we see revenue coming into the city, we're going to do whatever it takes to support not only the city, the residents, and the schools. It all goes hand in hand. We just have to wait till we get there. We're just not there yet.
And I will see you afterwards about the person that
Okay.
applied for that position.
Yes, I'd like to know
Yeah, I'd
about
like to know
that.
too, because the two I saw, right?
We have, if it's the same person, when someone applied, there were no openings. You had already decided upon what you were
Oh,
going to
okay.
do. We sent an email back suggesting that there were other openings. I'll read you the email. Received your planning board application and will keep it on file as there are currently no openings on the planning board. If one opens up, I will definitely reach out to you. The Shade Tree Committee and Stigma Free Board both have spots open currently if you have any interest in those groups. I also see you have experience with the work group. If interested, we are always looking for members of the Hackensack Municipal Alliance, which is a group of community members, liaisons from various organizations, schools, etc., to help with the positive development of youth and at-risk kids. Our meetings are usually bi-monthly, and then it gave the time. Now, I don't know if this is the same person, but this was the one that we got. And this is what we do whenever anybody says, we always send an email saying that there's openings on other boards, if there are, so that and I think we've actually gotten one or two people that have applied for one board and then decided to join the other one.
I received a call from somebody on the planning board to tell me there was a position open, so that's why we did that.
I didn't want to give the name out because, again, I don't know,
Maybe
No,
she'll
no,
see you later for
you know,
that day,
but that's
I
what
know.
we've
I
done.
know who it is. Okay.
Next.
There was already a decision made,
we
so.
already interviewed the other person.
Mrs. Flynn, how are you?
Who's talking to me?
Yes,
Mayor?
me.
Hi,
How are
very
you?
good, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Good evening, City Council members. It's great to see all of you. I'm very pleased to be with you tonight. I'm representing the Board of Trustees of the Johnson Public Library. And on behalf of the trustees, my job this evening is to present a letter of recognition to congratulate Ms. Kathleen Canestrino on her being recognized recently by the New Jersey League of Municipalities as one of New Jersey's outstanding women in municipal government.
Oh, thank you
Yes.
so much.
Very, very impressive. As our deputy mayor, oh, absolutely. And
Here you go.
Kathleen, as our deputy mayor, you have brought to Hackensack great honor through your dedication, and also because you now are also a representative of the growing number of women who are now forced to be reckoned with in the political and governmental arena. So we congratulate you on that. The library, of course, feels very fortunate to have you and the City Council as major supporters of our continuing efforts to create educational, cultural programming, and to provide diverse community services for our residents and for our local businesses. We are so proud to be partners with you in the redevelopment of Hackensack, and we are committed to our ability and opportunity to provide opportunities for our residents to enhance their quality of life here in Hackensack. And on that note, the children's librarians from the JPL would like to invite you to bring your kids or your grandkids to the upcoming January 31st kickoff to noon. What is it? 2020 celebration to noon, where the children at the library will have musical activities, snacks, and then at a few minutes to noon, there'll be the big anticipated countdown to noon, so the children can welcome the new year. And a good thing about it, that's probably the only
1:31.
time of the day that probably all of us are still awake. So I hope that I will see a few of you
She said the
there.
31st.
And I want to thank you very much.
January
and
1st or
have
31st?
a wonderful holiday with your family.
Thank you.
What was the date again? I'm sorry.
January 31st.
Yeah.
So it's,
Linda?
yes?
I think you misspoke. It's December 31st.
Oh,
New Year's Eve.
That's what we were thinking. That's what we-
I was trying to
Talking
figure it
about New
out.
Year's, I'm saying, wait, December
Yeah.
31st, okay.
Why did you jump up and just say?
So it's still 19.
Yes, New Year's Eve
New Year's
at
Eve.
noon. New Year's
Only
Eve.
in the daytime.
Yeah,
The
so
12
they-
o'clock
Okay.
will be.
They count
New
down
Year's
instead of to midnight, they count down to noon. So they
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, and having a good time. The pictures are always adorable, so hopefully you'll join us. It's a lot of fun. So thank you very much, and I'm going to give one of these ladies, kind ladies, little brochures for you guys.
Great, thank you.
So can I pass that to you?
That's fine.
And Kathleen, I'm actually leaving. You want, you coming now?
Yes, I'll
Oh, I have to get my camera there. Okay, okay. We're so proud of you.
Oh, wait, I don't want to be.
I really appreciate it.
Come on down here.
Going down.
I did this so really proud. Aerospace is great.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
And here you have that one, and then you have this one
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so
No.
much.
Thank you very much.
It's an
Thank
honor
you.
as well. It was wonderful to receive the award in Trenton, but this means even just as much. Maybe it's nice to have folks from home.
We were so excited. You brought it to the meeting, we all talked about it.
Thank you.
That's a certificate, actually.
Nice job there, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah.
Thank you to the library for that. That was great, you guys doing that.
Thank you.
Regina DePasqua, Parker Avenue. I was kind of taken aback by Mr. Kleinman crowing about a victory. It seemed very unprofessional for him to say it like that. Yeah, the federal case was dismissed, but I believe there is a state case still active, but it just was, it shocked a few of us, the way he said it. And, you know, just think about demeanor. And I bet he wouldn't have done it if Rick was here. But anyway, on to, on the docket,
Very bad.
54719. Construction project oversight. Is that more pistol range remediation in Johnson Park? Being called by another name, so.
Are you referring to the payment to Dormafowski?
It's Don Mafowski.
54719.
That's Don Rafalski.
32450. Soil remediation construction
That is the
oversight project.
that is the completion of the project. Because of the time it took, which extended that project, it exceeded the amount of time that was projected for. Soil remediation of the pistol range and
It is
the
pistol
cleanup.
range.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't use the term pistol range, you're hiding it on us, that's what it seems like. Because we're keeping an eye on it, we're keeping an eye on it, how much the remediation that wasn't going to cost us anything, the very first time, and it's on video, and I can find it, it wasn't gonna cost us anything for remediation of the pistol range, has cost us an arm and a leg. When this was first announced years ago, we said, what about the pistol range? And oh, no. Well, it's cost
I
us.
don't remember saying it was
Just
eight.
keeping that up, well, there's a lot of things you might not remember that are on video that I could pull up. All right, so we're not getting any pilot money yet, except
Getting
for
one.
a small amount, because we're not there yet. That's wonderful that everybody should know that, we're not there yet. But Santa Claus was here early from City Hall for some employees because, working in the private sector, I find it unconscionable that city money is spent 10K raise, merit increase, whatever you want to call it, given in November, retroactive to January. And one of the people was only hired a few months before January 2019. It's $10,000 retroactive pay. There's like $100,000 of retroactive pay to January 1st for about 13 people. That's unconscionable. And some of these people were also paying for their school so they can get the credentials for the job that they're in, that they're supposedly doing so well at. We're just getting it left and right here. Left and right.
Next, please.
Good evening again, Kathleen Salvo, Lodo Street. Finally, oh my God, it's a real nice Christmas present. I see was finally going to fix the basketball courts after over 20 years in Columbus Park, and I thank you because all the money always goes to Carver Park, but at least they're thinking of the kids there, because the summer programs were horrible. The kids could never use the courts, and now they can, as was the residents. So there, thank you also. I hope the flooding on the corner is going to be addressed too, because that was part of the project that we've been working on. So we're back to 2 times a week recycling and 2 times a week garbage collection, and recycling, it's going to be a no-brainer. Everything you put out the same day, which is fine. So we went all to come back to the best way, and we did. Okay, again, I'm going to go back to ECDC. Oh, and then pilot programs, like Carolyn is right. The developers do give back to the community. In Florida, they build us a middle school. The developers build us a middle school. There's ways, it seems like in this town, they're more like parasites, these developers. There's no symbiotic relationship. There's no give and take. We're giving them everything, and we're getting nothing except bills. And the taxpayers paying for everything because, like you said, no money is coming in as yet. So they do, in other communities, the developers do give something to the community, and we're getting nothing except bills from them. Again, I'm going back to ECDC. We need another crossing guard, John. You gave us the one. They need another. We need the resource officer, because most schools got them, but they didn't, and that would be a big help outside. I was there again today. The police department cannot spare any policemen. There are none to spare. We're short men, and they have important things to do, and we need to get these men. And we need to increase the salaries. I'll say it again. We can't nickel and dime these people. We can't give them $12.75 when other places are paying $18 and $22. That's why we don't have crossing guards. And the same thing with the resource officers. We started out very low, and they were scapped up by everybody. They need a resource officer. There's many problems there today. The buses were parked on the crossing walk. They were parked around the corner. People were jaywalking. It's just crazy, and it's very dangerous. So we need help down there. And the police department just can't spare it because they don't have it to spare. So I suggest you up the salary to get some crossing guards to come to Hackensack, and that would be it. So I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas and Happy and Healthy New Year, and hopefully we can work better with the town and with the Board of Ed, because we have problems with there's lack of communication. Thank you.
Rich Serbo, Spring Valley Ave. You know, I just wanted to start by saying something to Mr. Kleinman, who mentioned ethics. And I remember when Mr. Carver was our city attorney, I mentioned maybe we should have an ethics officer here, or he could be an attorney, or somebody to sort of discuss and sort of smooth out disputes in certain ways. And Mr. Carver thought it was a decent idea. I don't know if Mr. Kleinman bends that way, but at least he did mention the word ethics, because it is so needed, okay? And it would keep us away from, lots of lawsuits. And so possibly, can we go in that route and maybe find a discussion about an ethics officer, okay? That's something maybe you can think about as part of our city government, or as part of our administration, if you want to call yourselves that. Okay, that's it. I still don't hear much about this whole development project. I don't see the vision for it. I know there's things going on here and there, and wow, it's so exciting. Everyone talks about it as an exciting time, that wow, this has never been done before, and there's so much development. But can you pull it together? Can you show us where the hell we're going with it, instead of just a bunch of apartment houses going up here and there, and most of them garnering 30-year tax breaks at everyone else's expense. I mean, most people will be gone before they reap the benefits of any of this whole project. And is it comprehensive? I mean, can you really clear things up. Can you give us a vision, John? That's all I'm asking.
Absolutely.
Okay. As for salaries, I heard someone mention salaries and money being spent on employees. Ouch. I mean, come on. I think it's time to sort of level those out and off instead of increasing salaries. I mentioned that last time I was here that you're driving inflation by giving everybody what they want, anytime they want, every year, every time. And so you got to put a moratorium on increases. 5 years would be understandable. It would be. City employees would have to understand that. I'm sorry. Okay. Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Rich.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Bridget Hackensack. This
Ma'am?
letter is to the City Council. As a resident, stakeholder, taxpayer of Hackensack, I have sat in some of these meetings and have listened to some of the community raise concerns about what is taking place within the city. In the summer, the mayor made an offensive comment in which he apologized to the African American community. Then in August, I sent an email about the Fourth Ward community. I did not receive a proper response until I had to stand here and announce it again after a second email. I am a person who does not require validation. When it comes to awards, accolades, photo ops, they are baseless unless you are doing the right thing even when no one is watching, and that's called integrity. This council is in jeopardy of losing integrity when it comes to the African American community as well as the community at large. Instead, this council wants to be exclusion instead of inclusion. That seat at the table needs to become inclusion, because a very crucial election year, 2021, for this city council will be quickly approaching. And the next election would guarantee your legacy. And if any black or brown people that stand silent in the midst of politic racism, no matter what the organization, private, elected, district, county, you will be part of the problem and not the solution. And Dave Sims does not represent the African American community. Thank you.
Anybody else from the audience, please? Seeing none, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Stephanie?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Just want to thank Linda and Tara from the library for coming out and recognizing Deputy Mayor Canestrino. They do a wonderful job over at the library. They really put their heart and soul into it, and we appreciate it. The kids appreciate it. But all the events you guys come up with are great ideas, and you really entertain the kids. You have something for everybody, and even going fine free and different initiatives. Those are some new things that other libraries aren't doing, and it just shows how forward thinking you guys are. And we're glad Tara's here from Virginia and decided to call this place home. So good job over there. On the agenda, there were the improvements to the basketball court over in Columbus Park. We have various different improvements going on through the city parks, and I think that's part of the whole initiative that we're looking at. Going back to the comment about the schools, again, we have our monthly meetings with the superintendent, and I think that there's been a lot of great dialogue since Mr. Sanchez has come on board. And we have Mr. Pemberton, who's the head of Director of Special Services now, so I'm hopeful that things will go in the right direction. The special education department still needs a lot of work, but I'm hopeful that he'll do a great job, and I think he's gonna do great things over there. So between Mr. Sanchez and Mr. Pemberton, I think the dialogue has been great. And again, we're looking at the whole picture, trying to improve parks for our kids, to, help with the schools. And I think it's, you have to look at everything as a whole. We had our tree lighting. It was postponed twice because of the weather. It was very, very cold that day, so we had a pretty small turnout, but it was still great. Thanks to the cast of Christmas Caper that could be there. They did an excellent job. And to the DPW and police, fire, the city manager, cultural arts, the rec department, everyone involved. They really, pulled it together on a very cold night, and it still was, a great event. And I was able to attend the Christmas Capers. For anyone who hasn't seen it at the Hack Pack, it really is a really great play. This is the second year that we went, and they just do a phenomenal job over there. So congratulations to Rose and Greg and the whole cast. They just do a phenomenal job. What else? Oh, Holy Trinity, the Troop 5 had their annual pancake breakfast. I meant to mention it last time and I forgot, so I promised them that I would give a good word, but it was a huge turnout. I think they had almost 250 people there, and they raised some good money for the troop. So it was a good time, and Mr. Thompson in the back was there, so it was a great time. And that's it. Happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas, and here's to a good New Year's ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, Steph. I mean, I have to agree with your comments about the Board of Ed. We've been trying, for the past number of years to really establish a good working relationship together, and I think Mr. Sanchez really has brought a lot to the table. I mean, he has a lot of great ideas, he has a wonderful background, and, he comes from another school district that is quite similar to ours and has, made some major successes there and hopes to bring a lot of that here, and is very, very encouraging. And I think it's great because, he can call Ted, right, and say, hey, let's get together. I need we want to work on something together, and we can get together and have a meeting and get things done. And that's really a big, big step in the right direction. And I'm so happy and so pleased to see that. A couple of things on the agenda that I think are important to just go over quickly is, one of them is the introduction of the food truck ordinance. We've been, thanks to Steve Kleiman, we've been going back and forth with this and trying to find our way as a city. We're not Jersey City, we're not Hoboken. We're not going to do the same things they do. But we certainly want to be innovative, and we want to support our local businesses. And if having food trucks is a popular thing today, it's something that we want to have in our city for our residents to enjoy. So I think that what we have here is a good first attempt. I think this is going to be evolutionary. As always, when you try something new, it's never right 100% out of the box, but we're starting small. So this way we start in a small area so we can get the kinks out, and then hopefully, broaden the scope of this as well. So I'm so happy to finally see that on here. A couple other things, there's funding on here for a variety of things. Stephanie mentioned the parks, and that's great. We're always trying to, again, do work in our parks for our kids and for our adults. Recreational activities are important. Paving has always been a priority for us. You see there's a number of expenditures on here for paving and for sewer work. I mean, we're continuing to explore the separation of the sewer. It mentions Main Street here, but we've also actually, the monies that are allocated here on the agenda tonight are really for looking at areas outside of Main Street and how, when we move west throughout the city, how all this is going to come and play together and alleviate some of the issues that we have or that we see with flooding. So these are important things that were presented here tonight. Thank you to the library. It was such a wonderful surprise. It's always nice to hear nice things, and as a council, we sit up here and we don't hear nice things a lot. So it really brightened my day, and it was a wonderful Christmas present in advance to have it. So I thank you very much. And happy to hear that you feel you're a part of the redevelopment activity, because we're so fortunate that we have our library right on Main Street. So many communities don't have that luxury. And we have an absolutely beautiful building. I mean, you can't compare, to some of the other towns. Our library is gorgeous, and the services and the new innovative things you guys are doing are wonderful. And, I think nothing can stay the same. We have to continue to grow and continue to stretch ourselves. And things are going to change in the city. So happy to see that you're looking to change with that and provide that continued support. That's great news. The tree lighting. The tree looks beautiful. I mean, not only does the city part, the tree looks gorgeous. DPW did a great job, as always. Sanzari's building across the street looks phenomenal, too. I mean, the gateway to the city when you're coming in just looks really, really nice and very festive for all the holidays. Great job by everybody. I also was at the Christmas Caper. Hack Pack does a great job. There were so many little happy faces. It's over. I mean, they had the last showing this past weekend, but I'll tell you, if you needed to have your spirits lifted, just seeing the young folks and how they enjoyed it and how excited they were about it, it really does your heart good. I'd like to end and say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I wish you all the best and look forward to another great year for the city of Hackensack and to continue to work together. Again, thanks all for coming and have a great night.
Thanks, Kat. Dave?
Yesterday, Congressman Scott Gottenheimer, Josh, he had his annual Hometown Hero, and Reverend Jackson was honored. I salute him. As Kathy said, the Christmas caper, once again, was outstanding, and kudos to all who had a hand in the production. This past Saturday, we had our children's holiday party at the Hack Pack. They got goodie bags and they took pictures with Santa. They also had a great time. On this Thursday coming up, our senior citizens are going on their annual bus ride, the Mill Creek Theater. They always have a great time. As Kathy and Stephanie said, I want to thank the DPW for the outstanding job decorating the Christmas tree. They also decorated a tree out at Vanzel Park. They were also out there still picking up leaves and a great job putting salt out on the streets this morning. We opened up 3 businesses this week in Hackensack. Rev Up, a juice bar, Sticks, a chicken and kebab shop, and a Kaloa Lounge, all on Main Street. So we are bringing new business into town. Jahab of Hackensack will have a lighting of the menorah this Sunday at 5 p.m. right across the street from the courthouse green. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. Thank you.
Well, there were a few residents that were complaining about the poor lighting in the street. We have a meeting about maybe 2 weeks ago, and PSG promised that they're gonna change the type of light that we got, and we're gonna go to LED, and we're gonna start like a priority. First, we're gonna start working the intersections. So that has already been taken care. Well, the bicycles and the sidewalk is something that is up to the city manager to enforce it. The table bombs that some people mentioned, to me, the only solution to try to prevent people from speeding in the city of Hackensack. And the program for payment, we just put it together, and we got already approved the money, so weather permitting, maybe in March, we will continue paving the city streets. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Leo. It was mentioned before, make sure you guys check hackensack.org for the schedule for the rest of the year for what's left is recycling and everything else, just to double check. It was mentioned, I think on January 6th or that week, we go back to all recycling's picked up on your recycling day. There's no alternating anymore, which got kind of confusing. But we tried it, but we're going back. Food drive in City Hall, Fairleigh Dickinson's sponsoring that. The box is downstairs. Make sure if you have any dry goods that you can drop off, or you can call them up and donate. One of the things we worked on tonight, you saw, was the combined sewer ordinance, all right, which is so important in this city. We're one of 3. A lot of people don't realize that we have combined sewers, where the sewage and the stormwater are mixed together. Hackensack is one of 3 municipalities in Bergen County, along with Richfield Park and Fort Lee. We have spent a lot of time, and a lot of effort, and a lot of money trying to get this alleviated, which a lot of that is paid for by developers as well, through their sewer hookup fees. With the amount of flooding we get in Hackensack, we averaged last year, I think we had close to 70 overflows into the Hackensack River. We're allowed 4, okay? So we're way over the limit. So this is very important that this happens, because until all these sewers are separated, that will continue to happen. So this is, it's happening on Main Street right now. We're continuing onward with the sewer separation to get that all done. and other parts of the city are scheduled to be done as well. But that's way up at the top of our list. I'm very glad to hear that the Board of Ed and the city are working together. Being the husband of a teacher in this city, it's important for me, and I know we butted heads in the past, and I'm glad to hear that's coming to an end. And I think David Sanchez, the new superintendent, is doing a great job. He really is. He's very personable, and if you haven't met him, go introduce yourself to him. You'll find out what a great guy he is. And thanks to our library, best library in the state of New Jersey, and best looking too.
That's for sure.
Without a doubt. Classic library. Thanks to the library for coming and by, and especially for recognizing Deputy Mayor Canestrino for becoming one of 5 Women of the Year in the state of New Jersey by the New Jersey League of Municipalities. It was a great honor. It was great for us to be there with her. And all of Hackensack was there with her that day. You could see it in her face. So that's a great honor and something she'll have with her for the rest of her life to cherish. The tree lighting, though the attendance was a little light because we had to cancel it twice, still was successful. And it was a good event, and the park looks great. DPW is doing a great job. Leaves, the streets look pretty good, and they're doing a great job as far as the parks look great. So we're getting there. I'm glad to see we're moving forward with Columbus Park, with the basketball courts and all that. We're spending, all those plans that we planned are now happening. So that's a good deal. I want to wish everybody a lovely holiday, whether it's Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. A lot of them are really close this year, so we're all celebrating together, which is a good thing. And looking forward to next week and some downtime and enjoying friends and family. I hope everybody else does the same. So thank you, and get home safe and stay warm. It's a little cold out tonight. Motion to close.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.